Hello, everyone. Richard here at Calvin Wazoo. And I'm here to say that I've met a lot of wolves in my life who have an uncanny ability to rationalize in their own minds whatever they like. And we have another one song at a time episode here with Car Seat Headrest. And this time it's going to be the song Fill in the Blank, which is the opening track to their 2016 album, Teens of Denial. What a powerhouse album this was. And, I started this little series. This would be the second one because there is a new studio album coming out, which if you are a member of Car Seat Headrest or Will's Patreon, you probably already know about this. It's even mentioned in the Wikipedia entry about Car Seat Headrest that there's a new album in development. And then I also have my source that keeps me informed, about how things are developing. So we know that there's going to be a new album in 2025. Not sure when, but that's the point of doing these videos of picking different Car Seat Headrest songs and just taking a deep dive into them. They're already scheduling shows next year. So I got my ticket for their show here in Chicago. And they are gradually adding other shows to their calendar. So they're going to tour this album. So yeah, it's a good time to kind of, bring up their songs. And especially, in light of their last tour, which was really, quite successful. They got a live album out of it, which is actually this one here, Faces in the Masquerade, or Faces from the Masquerade, I should say. But it was kind of cut short, because we were just getting out of the whole COVID lockdown, and then Will got COVID, which turned into long COVID. And it's been a rough recovery period. But he's been busy. The band's been busy. And so we're going to be getting some new stuff. And so with this next song that I want to talk about, I talked about Crows before and how great an opener it was for the Faces from the Masquerade tour. And this song they played also in that tour. And when I saw them here in Chicago, they had two shows, and I went to both of them. God, great shows. But this one they played during that show, but I think it would also make a great opener. And that is a song, Fill in the Blank, from, Teens of Denial. And so let's get right into this song. It opens with this young woman, introducing. So, okay, everybody, here's Car Seat Headrest, she's actually a radio DJ by the name of Nora from the University of Maryland, and which, is kind of a clever way to introduce the song, the opening track. But apparently Will was a college radio DJ when he was at William and Mary. So, I don't know if, that was, connected to the thinking, but it is a cool way to introduce a song. And then it just launches right into this frenetic, melodic noise. The guitars, you got one guitar starting things off with that riff, and then you've got another guitar joining. And then everything, it just kind of blasts into your space. And this music, the power and the rhythm, and also just the manic attitude and atmosphere of this music is a very positive counterpoint to the negative mood of the lyrics in this song. The two working together is really, really quite clever. So you get the first line in the song of "I'm so sick of fill in the blank." Man, you name it, I'm sick of it. Okay, that's right. Right from the start. This is where we're coming from with this song. It's reflecting this general attitude toward the entire life experience. Okay, man, you name it, man, I'm sick of it. It also kind of reflects a common source of depression, that human society, it promotes and fosters depression. And Will writes a lot of songs that depression plays a role in the theme. A lot of songs, but they're really good songs. So opening up, I'm so sick of fill in the blank. And then comes the line, accomplish more, accomplish nothing. Yeah, it's just like we're driven by this belief that we have to accomplish things. We have to do things. All right, we got to buy more, we got to gain more, we got to earn more, we got to do more, we got to be more. But what are we accomplishing? What are we getting out of this? Does this constant achieving really mean anything? I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of our life, what did it mean? Is it even real? Just such strong lyrics to go along with that driving, almost jarring sound of the guitars and the drums and the bass, that cacophony of sound. And then you got this, I'm so sick of fill in the blank. Accomplish more, accomplish nothing. And then the singer's response to this is to sing, if I were split in two, I would just take my fists so I could beat up the rest of me. Okay? So now we're getting this introduction of self-loathing. Why am I even doing this? Why am I even participating in this charade of life? You dumbass, why are you doing this? In the United States, and I know that there are people outside of the United States that watch my channel, but in the United States, one of the founding documents was the Declaration of Independence, in which it talks about, having the freedom for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, being founding principles in our democracy. But, the idea of the pursuit of happiness has been turned into the pursuit of money. It was certainly there at the beginning, at the founding of the country. But, in modern times, it seems that you can't be happy unless you've got money. It's easier to be happy if you've got money because then you have your basic needs met. But we're not just talking about basic needs. The pursuit of happiness means hoarding of wealth. That is what things have just turned into. So that kind of, I think, really feeds into the lyric, and of this self-loathing and this questioning of, why the hell am I even doing this? I should just beat myself up for falling into this whole routine. Well, then we have the chorus coming in, which starts off with, you have no right to be depressed. You haven't tried hard enough to like it, okay? I just like that, all right? You've got no right to be depressed. You haven't even tried hard enough to like it. Come on. So this reflects, again, this common thinking that a lot of non-depressed people have about depression. And that is, it's the depressed person's fault, and all they need to do is just snap out of it. And, so this is partly true, okay? But we really need to understand, people who have never experienced depression need to understand that the cause of depression, the origin that puts people in depressed moods, is outside of us. But the depressive thinking that we may develop as a reaction to these outside catalysts, that turns into knots, intellectual knots, thought knots. The British psychiatrist R.D. Laing had a book called Knots, and it went into, and he was focused mostly on schizophrenia. But he, elaborated on the mental knots that we tie ourselves up in become so complex that they do become difficult to let go. They become difficult to untie because they are so much a part of us now. So, yeah, there's a little bit of truth to the idea that we have a responsibility for being depressed. But that's not how we got depressed. That's not what causes the depression. It is a reaction to this utter bullshit that goes on around us. And it affects, some people can just ignore it. But for some of us, it's hard to ignore because we see how it debases humanity. So again, the non-depressed person is trying to, buoy up our depressed person by, saying, hey, you haven't seen enough of this world. Okay, that's the next line. You haven't seen enough of this world yet. But the depressed person responds with, but it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And then the reply, again, from the non-depressed person is, well, stop your whining and try again. So you've got this one voice saying, hey, get off your ass and try again. It's a big world out there. But this other voice is saying, but it hurts now. Why should I bother? Okay? Yes, this is, I think, the constant argument, so to speak, between people who misunderstand depression trying to communicate to people experiencing depression. And then also the defense mechanism that depressed people develop to respond to the ignorance of others. I mean, I don't mean ignorance in a derogatory way. Ignorance just means you don't know. Okay? So then the other person is saying, hey, well, come on. No one wants to cause you pain. They're just trying to let some air in. Which is a great metaphor, okay? Just trying to let some air in, throw up the blinds, let some light in, open the windows, let some air in, and get out of this funk. So this is, the well-intentioned people that are trying to help, when they really still, they don't comprehend, they don't understand this labyrinth that depression can be for people. So what's this reaction then to letting air in, all right? Well, that's the next line. But you hold your breath, you hold your breath, you hold it. Hold my breath, I hold my breath, I hold it. Okay, the other person is trying to let all this air in, and you're not having any of it, you're not breathing any of it, you're gonna hold your breath. Okay, it's this like stubbornness. So you've got the one voice chastising the other for refusing to let go, and the other is admitting, I don't want to let go. I kind of like it. Okay, there is that point there. On the one side, people are correct to say that you don't have to feel this way. It's the essence of Buddhism. Okay, you don't like the way you feel, or even in Evangelion, that's eventually the lesson that Shinji learns. If you don't like your reality, you change it. But we tend to grow fond of our reality, especially when it's hurtful reality. And I'm not going to go into trying to explain that, but that's kind of, what's going on. All right. So then come more frenzied guitars and the wild banging percussion. Again, you've got this like crazy, frenetic, almost buoyant and even joyful noise in the music, but you've got this really dark lyric content going on, this dark storyline. So verse 2 comes in now, which is an example. This verse is a real example of the mental knots that commonly occur in depression, the mental knots the depressed person ends up tying up inside their mind. And it starts off, all right, Will singing, I've known for a long time I'm not getting what I want out of people. All right, so they kind of go back to the beginning of the song where he's saying, I'm so sick of fill in the blank. All right, he's aware for a long time he's not getting what he wants out of people. Then the next line, it took me a long time to figure out I don't know what I want. So like something is missing. But what is it? What is it that is missing? So that's because there's so many distractions and deceptions that are trying to tell us, well, what you should want. Advertising that's constantly being bombarded. This whole fake concept behind materialism, that you've got to do more, buy more, acquire more. That's who you are, the things you surround yourself with. Okay? That's the message. And so we end up losing touch, not just with ourselves, but with others. And because of all these distractions and deceptions. But this is actually a lie. The idea of, I don't know what I want. It's actually a lie. It's a self-deception. We know what we want. Okay? But we say we don't know what we want because of the chaos that confuses us around it. But we know what we want. We want real connections with people. We want real, true intimacy, okay, with others. So then the next line comes in, the repartee, whatever, that occurs between the depressed person and the person who is just trying to help, So it's the depressed person saying, you'll ask why, and there will be no answer. Then you'll ask for how long, and there will be no answer. Then you'll ask, what can I do? And there will be no answer. And eventually you will shut up. This is the knot. This is the evasion of the person who is trying to help. In their mind, they're thinking they're trying to help, talk through whatever the depressed person, and the depressed person is refusing to answer. They're just withdrawing because that's not what they want. All right. Eventually, they just want you to shut up. All right. And eventually you do. And this kind of makes me think, if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, okay, in Eeyore, the very depressed donkey, This makes me think of Eeyore when Pooh and Piglet go to see him just to sit and be with him. They're not doing anything. And that just being there with Eeyore makes Eeyore feel better, because they're not trying to fix Eeyore. They just want to be there with Eeyore to let him know that, hey, we care about you, Eeyore. We love you, Eeyore. And that's all we want to do, is just be here with you. We don't have to do anything, don't have to say anything. And Eeyore thrives on that. So, yeah, this whole thing of, you'll ask why and there'll be no answer. Then you'll ask for how long and there'll be no answer. And then you'll ask, what can I do? And there'll be no answer. And then eventually you just shut up. Leave me alone. That's the evasion. That's the defense mechanism the depressed person is using. And it frustrates the other person because they have it inside their head that they think that they can actually fix you. Okay? But that's not what's missing. Remember, he said, well, I can't, I don't know what I'm missing, but we do know what we're missing. We're missing real human connection. And we're stuck in this frenetic pursuit of things that aren't real. So then the chorus is repeated in the song. And then comes the bridge, which has these calls from others that essentially are saying, stay the fuck down, including God, right? So the sequence actually here is, I get signs from the cops saying, stay the fuck down. So here's authority saying, yeah, hey, stay in your place. Don't move out of your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay the fuck down. Because ultimately, if you don't, what can happen? Well, they'll kill you. They'll shoot you. Then I get signs from the audience saying, stay the fuck down. Well, you're even as a musician or a rock star, you want to express yourself as a real person, but that's not often what the audience wants. They have this preconceived idea of who you are based on the music that you create and they listen to, and they think they know you. And as soon as you deviate from that, it's like, hey, shut the fuck up. Okay. And then we got the signs from God, saying, stay the fuck down. All right. Hey, I'm God. All right. How dare you challenge me? How dare you question me? Stay the fuck down. Stay in your place. All right. So, yeah, again, we get this, again, I keep using that word frenetic. It's just manic, the musical part. But it's, this is all theater. This is what the bridge is kind of telling us. This is all theater, but that's what people want. Really, if you stop and think about a lot of what we do, it's to perpetuate this theater of absurdity in our lives because we think that's real. Anyway, so now the subject of the song is going to snap back at the critics, for saying, hey, man, you've got no right to be depressed. He snaps back with, I've got a right to be depressed. I've given every inch I had to fight it. I've seen too much of this world, yes, but it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. So this is like, the person in the song is like, how dare you tell me how I should feel? Okay, because that's really kind of the hubris that is coming from everyone else. You shouldn't feel this way. You have no right to feel this way. Hey, I bloody well do have a right to feel this way. and you've got no business telling me how to feel. You're not me. You've not experienced the same things I have. How dare you? So, just because you don't understand the way I feel doesn't make my feelings invalid. That's what's coming out right now. In kind of a retaliation against all the do-gooders. Okay? And then the song goes on, and I will never see the light that I've seen shining in your eyes. You just want to see me naked. So I'll hold my breath. I hold my breath. I hold it. This is a very cynical and despairing line. Again, juxtaposed with this frenetic and manic music. He's singing, the person in the song, that people who assert that they just want to help out really just want to fuck them. Treat him like an object of desire and pleasure, and then discard him because that's what everyone's done before. And that's what everyone does to each other. All right? It goes back to that earlier line. I've known for a long time I'm not getting what I want out of people. Now, that's not to say that, NSA sex is a bad thing in and of itself. Okay? Because it's not. It's going to the heart of the way many people use people to get what they want, to get their own pleasure taken care of. And then once that is achieved, it's like people are discarded. Okay? It's like, even if a lot of people will take the time to say that they're trying to get to know you and to get to understand you. But the bottom line is, it's a device that they are using just to see you naked, just to fuck you. And then once that's accomplished, they're not interested in understanding you anymore. And it can happen to you way too many times that you avoid intimacy. You avoid intimacy, and when you meet someone that you might actually feel some kind of connection with, you're very slow to open up to that person. And if that person doesn't understand that, they may just lose interest in that you're too closed. Okay? Which reinforces in yourself the idea of remaining closed, even though that probably was not the other person's intention, that they had true altruistic intentions in terms of getting to know you because they really cared about you, but they got tired of waiting for you to let them in. So it's just, again, it's like, you've got no right to be depressed. You haven't liked it hard enough. You haven't tried hard enough. And it's like a two-way street, If you want me to jump out of this depression, you've got to try harder than you are. But you've got to do it in a different way. So yeah, I just love the way that you've got this crazy and frenetic and totally amped up music, which is the opposite of depression, coupled with these dark and cynical lyrics. To me, it is a fantastic combination with this. And this is a common theme with a lot of Will's lyrics, this longing for real human connection with others that doesn't turn into a deception strategy just to get laid or to get the better of another person. This duplicity. So yeah, you find this in a lot of Will's lyrics, in a lot of variety of ways and scenarios. Like this, you have like a song, but then there are other songs that are like these stories, these epics, where it's still the same theme, but he's sharing it in a more intimate and personal way through these other stories. It's just remarkable in so many ways to me, and which is why I think so many really young people really latch on and connect to what Will is doing, what Car Seat Headrest is doing with these songs, because they really are speaking their language and expressing what they are feeling. And there's these songs also appeal to people, certain people in my generation, because we were singing about the same things, 60 years ago. And it's just that, like today, a lot of people just, weren't listening. It was just all a party. It was just, it was fun while it lasted. And now we're just a bunch of materialistic people driving Cadillacs with Deadhead stickers in the back. But there are some of us who really feel this way and really understand this lost connection that we, or I should say, this connection that we have lost, that we're trying to restore, come back with our humanity. And that's why we rebel against this economic structure. It's like, who am I thinking of? Noah. I'm just now thinking of this, and what's his name? Noam Chomsky. That's it, Noam Chomsky. When he talks about that there is no form of government that will ever be, good to us, that will be right for us, that will take care of us. We have to, no matter what the form of government is, we have to challenge it, because it's not out to help us. No matter what form of government, there's people in that system who are using and manipulating the system for their own personal gain. We have to be aware of that. We have to fight it. We have to resist it all the time, so that we can make these connections, real connections with each other, to find real happiness. So, yeah, I've gone off quite a bit here on this particular song, but I love this song. I'm so sick of fill in the blank, and I really am. And I know a lot of you are too. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave a comment in the down under. I do enjoy getting those comments. A thumbs up helps with the distribution of the content, even if you're already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed and you like what you saw in this video, hey, consider subscribing. There is, if you go to my main page in YouTube, a Car Seat Headrest list, there's a playlist. There we go. That's the word, playlist. So there's a Car Seat Headrest playlist that has not just the videos that I've done about car seat headrest, but there are other videos, with car seat headrest songs, also interviews with Will Toledo, and also bands. So check that out. I am on Instagram, where you can find me as NewsDude76, NEWZDUDE76. I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where I post these videos, but other video content, music videos or articles about music, and etc. So yeah, comment, please. Leave a comment in the down under. I really enjoy getting them. And as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.